He engineered the Beatles' final album and built Dark Side of the Moon, then sold 50 million records without anyone knowing his face. They created the anthem that introduced Michael Jordan to every arena on Earth, and Jordan barely knew their names. No tours, no permanent band, no frontman, just studio perfection, until a courtroom ended it all without a single goodbye. This is the rise and fall of the Alan Parsons Project. Abbey Road, 1968. While rock stars chased fame, 19-year-old Alan Parsons was learning that the invisible architects, the engineers, the producers, held just as much power as anyone standing in front of a microphone. By 1973, he was lead engineer on Dark Side of the Moon, turning ticking clocks and cash registers into sonic innovations that redefined what a recording studio could be. Then he met Eric Woolfson. Together, they imagined something radical. No permanent lineup, no touring, just studio perfection. Musicians selected like colors from a painter's palette. The studio itself as the band. Their 1976 debut, a concept album based on Edgar Allan Poe, was previewed not in a concert hall, but at the Griffith Observatory with a planetary light show. I, Robot went platinum. Eye in the Sky hit number 3 in 1982, its haunting surveillance theme arriving years before the internet made it prophecy. They were one of the biggest acts on Earth, and neither man could be recognized in an airport. They had achieved the impossible, massive success without the burden of fame.
What blows my mind about the Alan Parsons Project is how they flipped the whole rock star script. No tours, no faces, no ego in the spotlight, just pure studio craft. Parsons and Woolfson proved that the real magic often happens behind the glass, not in front of it. The industry still doesn't give producers and engineers their due, but without them, none of our favorite records would exist the way they do. What do you think? Who's the most underrated behind-the-scenes genius in rock? Drop your pick below.
Then MTV arrived and changed everything. Suddenly, sound wasn't enough. You needed a face. For a project built entirely on anonymity, this was an existential threat. Chart impact declined. The American audience moved on to Madonna and Prince, artists who performed, who embodied personality. Meanwhile, the musicians who had built that signature sound, guitarist Ian Berenson, bassist David Patton, quietly seethed at being invisible. "We created that sound," Patton later said, "and it can't be recreated without us." The deeper fracture was between Parsons and Woolfson themselves. Parsons, the technical perfectionist, Woolfson, the conceptual storyteller. For years, that tension had been fuel. By the late 1980s, it had become a wall. Their final album together, Gaudi, was beautiful and commercially disappointing. Then Woolfson wanted to turn their next project into a full-stage musical. Parsons refused. The disagreement became a lawsuit, 3 years of litigation. A partnership that had built a sonic cathedral ended not on stage, but in a courtroom, with no farewell, no final gathering, no goodbye.
Woolfson died of cancer in 2009 at 64. The voice behind their greatest hits, still largely unknown to the millions who would listen to him, was gone.
This ending is so quiet and heavy. Parsons and Woolfson built something timeless together, then let a disagreement turn into a lawsuit that lasted years. No goodbye, no reconciliation. Woolfson dies at 64, and the partnership that gave us Eye in the Sky and Sirius just ends in silence. It really makes you think about the cost of creating something great in someone else's shadow, or refusing to share the credit. What does that say to you about artistic partnerships and ego? Let me know in the comments.
Sirius still plays in every NBA arena. 50 million records, 0 household names. Subscribe to Voice of Legends, because the greatest architects rarely get their monuments.